Hello, friends. Welcome to the Nirmal Bang. I'm Piyush Jain, and today we are going to be talking about the building material space. It's a space where there has been a lot of activity over the last 12 months. We have seen a very strong action in a couple of markets, in the Western markets, in the Northern markets. There has been rebound in activity over the last 2 years. Some very strong construction activity, associated demand for building materials. Of late, stocks in this sector have really rewarded investors. There has been some stellar returns which investors have received. And today we are going to be talking to one of the managements in this sector. Let me now welcome Century Plyboards to the show, the executive director of the company, Mr. Keshav Bhajanka. Keshavji, welcome to the show.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
Keshavji, let's first start with a question that how's the sort of market looking to you? Because we have seen off late over the last few months, the input prices actually had increased in the international market. There was also turbulence in the freight cost. Uh, in this second quarter, how has been the input cost for you, both the chemical cost and the other associated timber cost and the other raw material cost? How has been the trend for you?
So for us, if you look at plywood, MDF, and particle board, the largest chunk of cost is timber cost, and timber cost remains elevated. In line with the same, we have taken a price increase in plywood as recently as July. Chemical costs have softened, and that has helped us absorb the increased timber costs. But I think that this cycle of higher timber costs is likely to last for at least the next year or year and a half.
Okay, and what's the reason you're seeing for that, for timber?
Demand and supply. I think agroforestry over the course of 2018 to 2021 wasn't as substantial as the demand that has been experienced in the last 2 years. Now the quantum of agroforestry has really increased, and this is going to help us. But as you know, plantation timber takes some time. So I think for the next year, year and a half, levels could remain a little inflated, post which we should get the benefit of lower timber costs.
Right, and chemicals also. So, what are your top two or three primary chemicals which you use?
The largest drivers of chemical is phenol and melamine, and both of these have corrected substantially over the course of the last year and a half.
Absolutely, associated again, sort of a lot of chemicals that should have seen moderation in the prices. But moving forward, from this perspective, what is the sort of price hikes which you have taken in July, and are you seeing any more of need of possible price hikes in this quarter, in September, or in the next quarter?
We have taken a price hike in the plywood category in the month of July to the tune of 2%. Right now, I'm not seeing any more immediate price hikes in any of the categories. However, we'll keep you apprised as and when things progress.
Sure. Across laminates, MDF, particle boards, was the price hike almost same, or the price hike was in particular category?
The price hike was only in the plywood category.
And it was like in what, low single digits?
Yes, 2%, like I mentioned already.
Okay, I'd missed that number. Fine, sir. And so with the price hikes, basically, and the cost structure, how's the sort of market demand looking to you? It's a rainy season, usually basically a sort of on the lower side. So how's the second quarter looking to you?
Normally, the second quarter is a good quarter for us. If you look at it for the past few years, it has been one of our standout quarters. However, this year demand seems to be slightly muted. However, I'm sure that we'll outperform the market given our strong brand positioning. I think towards the second half of the year, demand revival will be far stronger. I think the worst of interest rate hikes is behind us, and due to interest rate hikes, EMIs were higher, and the decision to refurbish or to furnish a house had been deferred. So I am very confident on a very strong Q2, sorry H2. Q2 might be a little muted.
Right, and both the western and northern markets, which actually are your key markets, both the markets are behaving in a similar way.
For us, South, East, Northwest, all are similarly strong markets. South being the strongest, in fact. But yes, throughout, there has been a little bit of a tendency to defer the decision to start working from making a house into a home. in order to furnish, in order to to start that work. However, I think that this is a short-term impact, like I mentioned.
Right. And from there, in terms of capacities, how the sort of capacity commissioning is progressing in Hoshiarpur?
Hoshiarpur, the second capacity has already commenced. It commenced in the month of March. Now we are coming up with our largest capacity till date in the state of Andhra Pradesh in Kadapa district. And that capacity is likely to go on stream within H2 of this year. So we are very confident that that will give a substantial boost to our top line and bottom line going forward all through next year and beyond.
Just to touch on Hoshiarpur, sir. Now, Hoshiarpur, during your sort of last commentary, Hoshiarpur actually capacity had not picked up fully. Like, what is the sort of utilization we're looking in Hoshiarpur at present? I'm just trying to look at the impact in the third quarter.
Sure. You see, any new capacity it takes some time to ramp up. So Q1 we didn't get the full benefit of the capacity. Q2 we have started scaling up capacity, and I think capacity utilization will be far higher. By Q3 we should be at 60% plus of capacity utilization of the new line.
Okay. So right now, basically, the utilization is picking up in Hoshiarpur, and you just highlighted in Andhra. Is that basically the sort of laminate line which you are talking about?
I'm talking about both the
Both.
new laminate capacity and the new MDF capacity.
Right, sir. And how much sort of volume contribution could be coming from there?
So the MDF capacity is to the tune of 950 cubic meters per day, which will double our existing capacity. In laminates, we are setting up one new 8 by 4, 10 by 4 press and one new 14 by 6 press. So this is our first foray into larger sizes. I think this is going to add anywhere between 250 to 300 crores of top line at peak utilization.
Okay. And this will get commissioned in third quarter. So again, sometime. So fourth quarter, are you expecting a full impact there?
I think any new capacity takes time to ramp up, but definitely we'll start seeing the benefit of the same. Whether it gets commissioned at the third quarter or the fourth quarter, that is questionable at this point in time. But yes, we'll definitely commission both within this year.
Right. Regarding July and August, how has been the market for you in terms of volume growth? Like, what has been the exit trend so far, July, August,
I
across
don't think
MDF, plywood, boards?
I don't think I can give any numbers here, as you're well aware. But yes, the market sentiment, like I've mentioned, we are doing far better than the overall market, but the overall market continues to be sluggish.
Okay. And basically, has it been better than the first quarter?
Again, the market
Okay.
conditions.
Uh, And let's talk about the product launches, where actually you did some brand tie-ups also. Um, how has been the planning progressing on that front? How's it looking? And help us understand how basically you're preparing with it for the third quarter.
So again, these are long-term associations. We are actually the first company in the history of the laminate industry that has gone into a tie-up. We are moving a designer laminate into a branded designer laminate category. And I think this is our first foray into the same. So it will take some time to scale up. But the response from the market has been fantastic. Our collaboration with Mr. Manish Malhotra is giving us a brand presence in the market that is worthy of the market leader.
Okay. And based on that, basically, perhaps I think the third quarter, second, fourth quarter, I think you will continue to sort of position the brand and associatedly try and basically spend on it to create awareness about it, right?
Our marketing spends are usually within 4% of the total turnover. And I think this year as well, we are looking to keep the ratio somewhat there, maybe slightly higher. But our endeavor is always to create brand pull and to highlight the attributes of the product that make us unique.
Absolutely. So I think if that remains, I think perhaps that's not going to sort of create any major cost impact here. On the MDF, coming back to MDF category, sir, like how's the sort of with respect to demand, how's the market competition looking like at present in terms of margins?
I think we have given a margin guidance of 25% for the current year and for the long term as well. We are more or less in line to achieve the same.
Okay, because I think the first quarter was more about in terms of volume growth, your capacity commissioning moving, and sort of volumes coming from there and moving towards second and third quarter. In terms of the margins also, is it now from a cost element perspective, this year is looking better than the last year?
As I told you, timber prices are inflated. However, given the overall scenario and the commissioning of the new capacity, we are fairly confident that we'll be able to achieve our guidance. Having said that, definitely timber prices are inflated and market conditions are very competitive.
Right. And one I think question from a viewer perspective, because of late we have seen very strong sort of construction material demand. We have seen strong real estate sales, both inventory, new launches, and everything. As per you, and I remember what actually you told last time, is that from the perspective of propensity to sort of up your home, uh, what actually is really holding back the consumers apart from the interest rate hikes?
I think that's about it. Today, if you look at it, real estate sales are very high. Now, as you know, our product isn't a product that goes when a project is being completed. Our products go once the journey from a house to a home begins. So the strong growth or the strong, sort of demand in the product categories that go into making a building, that is very, very positive for us because once this capacity comes into the market, I'm talking about once the real estate that has been sold goes to the market and it starts being worked upon, that is when our product categories come into play. So I think going forward, this paints quite a good picture for us.
Okay. Any particular sorry, any particular markets where actually you're seeing better demand because across industry somebody actually see better demands in Maharashtra, Karnataka, like particular region. They sometimes see softness in South. Is there any particular sort of dispersion in demand trends which you have been seeing so far?
No, for us, I think the trend is it's fairly consistent throughout.
Okay. And just perhaps the last question, in terms of volume growth splits, which are the two regions? Like what is the sort of volume split if I want to split it between north, south, west, east? Like how's the sort of proportion there?
For us, it differs category by category. If you look at plywood and laminates, then South would be the largest, and the other
Okay.
regions would be more or less consistent. In MDF, we are predominantly a North brand because our capacity right now is in the North. And in particle board, we're predominantly a South brand because our capacity is in the South.
And in MDF actually the capacity is in north. That's why actually you are a predominantly north brand.
Yes.
And the southern capacity, sir, when actually is going to commission? We were just talking about that.
H2 of this year, like I mentioned.
Right. So that actually will also sort of expand your MD presence to South also.
Definitely.
Fine, sir. I think that completes the insights for our viewers till now, and I think perhaps we'll look forward towards meeting you after the second quarter results. So thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And with that, dear viewers, it's a wrap on the show. Hope you enjoyed it.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.